What is a bubble? Imagine a marketplace full of monkeys, and one day someone introduces bananas. At first, bananas are exactly what they're supposed to be, food. A monkey buys a banana to eat it. Simple, logical. That's how a healthy market works. But then something strange starts to happen. A few clever monkeys notice that other monkeys really want bananas. So instead of eating them, they hold on to their bananas, waiting for the price to go up. And sure enough, it does. Word spreads. More monkeys rush in, not because they're hungry, but because they want to buy a banana today and sell it tomorrow for more leaves than they paid. The banana is no longer just food. It's become a financial instrument. And that's exactly where a bubble is born. A bubble happens when the price of an asset shoots far beyond its real, practical value, not because the asset has become more useful, but because everyone is betting that someone else will pay even more for it later. The banana didn't get more nutritious, it didn't get bigger or tastier. The monkeys just convinced each other it was worth more, and for a while, that shared belief was enough to make it true.
The psychology behind the madness. So why do otherwise reasonable monkeys keep falling for this? The answer lies deep in monkey psychology, and honestly, in human psychology too. The first force at work is FOMO, the fear of missing out. Picture a monkey sitting quietly in his tree, watching his neighbor swing home with a big grin and a pile of extra leaves after selling bananas at a profit. That quiet monkey starts to sweat. What if the price keeps going up? What if this is the opportunity of a lifetime and he's just sitting here watching it pass by? That anxiety is almost unbearable, so he jumps in. He buys bananas, not because he researched the banana market or believes in the long-term value of bananas, but simply because he's terrified of being left behind. The second force is herd behavior, and it works hand in hand with FOMO. When one monkey buys, another monkey sees it and thinks, he must know something I don't, so that second monkey buys too. Then a third monkey sees two monkeys buying and thinks the same thing. Before long, you have an entire jungle of monkeys piling into bananas, each one assuming the others have done their homework, when in reality, everyone is just copying everyone else in one big circular loop of monkey see, monkey do. Nobody stops to ask whether the banana is actually worth what they're paying. They just see the crowd and join it.
Leverage, the air pump that inflates the bubble. Now, if a bubble were just about excited monkeys spending their own leaves, it would eventually hit a natural limit. They'd simply run out of leaves to spend. But there's a mechanism that allows the bubble to inflate far beyond what the monkeys could fund on their own, and it's called leverage. Here's how it works. A monkey walks into a bank and says, "I want to buy bananas, but I only have 10 leaves." The bank smiles and says, "No problem, we'll lend you 90 more leaves. Go buy your bananas, just pay us back later." Suddenly, that monkey has 10 times the buying power he started with. He buys 100 leaves worth of bananas with only 10 leaves of his own money. Now, if the price of bananas goes up even slightly, say by 10%, that monkey's bananas are now worth 110 leaves. He pays back the bank's 90 leaves, keeps his original 10, and walks away with 20 leaves. He just doubled his money on a 10% price increase. It sounds like a dream, and when prices are rising, it feels like one. But here's the terrifying flip side. What happens when the price drops by just 10%? His bananas are now worth only 90 leaves. He has to pay back the bank 90 leaves. He has nothing left. His original 10 leaves are completely wiped out, a 100% loss from a mere 10% dip in price. And if the price drops further, he's not just broke, he's in debt. He owes the bank leaves he doesn't have. Leverage is essentially an air pump. It inflates the bubble much faster and much larger than it could ever grow on its own, which also means that when the bubble pops, the explosion is far more violent and far more devastating.
Eventually, reality has a way of showing up uninvited. Maybe a sharp-eyed monkey looks around and notices something uncomfortable. There are actually plenty of bananas. They're not rare. They never were. The whole idea of their scarcity was a story the market told itself. Once that realization starts to spread, the mood shifts. A few nervous monkeys decide to sell before prices dip any further. But here's where leverage turns a correction into a catastrophe. The banks, seeing the price start to slide, get nervous about the loans they've made. They send urgent messages to all the monkeys who borrowed leaves. Sell your bananas now and pay us back, or we'll sell them for you. These forced sales are called margin calls, and they dump enormous quantities of bananas onto the market all at once. More supply, less demand. The price drops faster. More margin calls get triggered. More forced selling. The price drops even faster. What started as a small, nervous dip becomes a full avalanche. A banana that was selling for 100 leaves at the height of the mania crashes back down to almost nothing, not because anything physically changed about the banana, but because the collective belief that held its price up simply evaporated. And once that belief is gone, it's gone.
The 4 stages every bubble goes through. Financial historians have looked at bubbles across centuries, from Dutch tulip mania in the 1600s to the dot-com crash of 2000, and the same story plays out in 4 recognizable stages every single time. It starts with discovery. A small group of curious, forward-thinking monkeys stumble onto something new and genuinely exciting. They start buying in early, and they're right to be excited. There's real potential here. Prices begin to rise, but modestly. Most monkeys haven't even heard of this thing yet. Then comes the boom. The early adopters' success stories start circulating through the jungle. More monkeys take notice. Investment flows in. Prices climb noticeably. The newspapers start covering it. This is still somewhat rational. The excitement is grounded in real possibilities, even if the pricing is starting to stretch. Then everything accelerates into mania. This is the stage where logic goes out the window. Prices are skyrocketing. Every monkey at every tree is talking about it. Your cousin's neighbor's friend just retired off his banana investment. People who know nothing about bananas are taking out loans to buy bananas. The idea that prices could ever go down feels almost absurd at this point. This is the peak of the bubble, and it's also the most dangerous moment to be buying in, even though it feels like the most exciting. And finally, panic. Something triggers doubt. Maybe a piece of bad news, maybe just the natural exhaustion of running out of new buyers. Prices start to dip. The leveraged monkeys get margin called. Everyone rushes for the exit at once, and the price crashes. Late buyers who bought in during the mania phase dreaming of easy riches watch their investment collapse. The jungle is quiet again, just poorer.
Is AI the next bubble? This brings us to a question that's on a lot of thoughtful minds right now. Could the current artificial intelligence boom be following this same pattern? To be clear, this isn't a simple yes or no question. History shows us that not every technological explosion is a bubble in the destructive sense. When electricity was introduced, there was enormous hype, speculative investment, and even some crashes along the way. But electricity was also fundamentally transformative. It rewired civilization. The hype, while excessive at times, was pointing at something real. The question with AI is whether we're looking at the next electricity or something closer to the dot-com era, where the underlying technology was real and valuable, but the market's excitement ran so far ahead of actual profitable applications that a brutal correction became inevitable. Right now, the largest AI companies in the world are being sustained by massive investments from other big companies and venture capital. They're burning through enormous resources, computing power, talent, and energy, while many of them have not yet demonstrated a clear, reliable path to generating profits that justify their valuations. The products are impressive. They're genuinely useful in many contexts, but they also make mistakes, hallucinate facts, and struggle with tasks that require true understanding. The technology is real. The question is whether the price being paid for it, both financially and in terms of expectation, reflects that reality, or whether it reflects the same FOMO and herd behavior that inflates every bubble. That's the thing about bubbles. They never feel like bubbles from the inside. In the middle of the mania, it always feels like this time is different. This time, the new thing really will change everything. And sometimes it does. But even when the underlying technology is genuinely revolutionary, the price you pay for it matters enormously. You can be right about the future and still lose everything if you paid bubble prices to get there. So the next time you see a market going parabolic, whether it's bananas, real estate, crypto, or AI stocks, it's worth asking yourself one honest question. Am I buying this because it has real value to me? Or am I buying it because I'm afraid of missing out on what everyone else seems to be getting rich on? Because if it's the second one, you might just be the last monkey in line before the bubble pops.